This is Todd with Todd's Dodge Garage. We're here with the 1966 Dodge Charger instrument cluster, the second video of this series. In the first video, we worked on the fuel gauge. The second video, we're going to work on arguably one of the most misunderstood gauges on the planet, which is the amp gauge and what it actually does. There's other videos out there that get into in-depth explanation of the amp gauge, and I would suggest watching those. But in simple terms, the amp gauge only measures state of battery charge. It's a very simple device, really, not much in it to burn out. The amp gauge gets blamed for a lot of dash fires that happen in the Mopars. It is never the amp gauge. It is always wiring. Now, once we get into this, I will show you why. On a first gen Charger amp gauge, it is plus or minus 40 amps. Full swing is 40 amps charge. Full swing discharge is 40 amps discharge. The bus bar, which some people call a shunt, which it is not, it is a bus bar, inside the amp gauge, you could put 100 plus amps to it before it is going to break or melt in half or disintegrate, whatever term people want to use. The bus bar is extremely heavy duty. The gauge is calibrated to 40 amps plus or minus. You can actually it'll hold 100 plus amps. It's been done many, many times. Reason for this video is my process in gauge restoration and repair of a 1966 Dodge Charger or 67. The theory and electrical operation behind the gauges would be a different video. But I just wanted to give you a very brief explanation of the most misunderstood gauge on the planet. I'm going to set you down and try to do this so you can see what I'm doing. And again, I'm doing this one gauge at a time. When I restore these, I take all the gauges out of the cluster and I set them aside and I work on one gauge at a time. And then I'll remove all the needles and set those aside. I can strip those and work on those, but we're going to do one at a time. So we've got the fuel gauge removed. We're going to flip this over and now we're going to remove the amp gauge. You've got a couple insulators and a couple nuts. Now you can use whatever you want. I just use pill bottles to hold my nuts and bolts for each job. Okay, that's what that is. That's just a container for me. Now again, very carefully, I'm removing this. Very carefully. I'm going to hold the junction point for the electroluminescent wires. Okay, I'm going to hold that firm and I'm going to pull that wire off. The needle wire, which is the thick wire, comes off of this spade terminal. Again, this spade lights the needle. Now, as we showed in the first video, this needle is burned out. You can see by the charring. So we'll be repairing that needle back to operation during this restoration process. On the back of your amp gauge, you're going to have insulating washers. These are fiberglass fiber insulating washers that sit over the studs. So when you remove the gauge, it's going to look like that. Pull the insulating washers off. and set those aside. You're going to need to put them back on. Now, just like we did with the fuel gauge, we're going to drill out a rivet for the gauge face. We need to open this gauge up. And then you can set the cluster aside. Take your tool to open up the tangs that lock the gauge face to the gauge body. You do not want to break them. And again, since this needle is centered, when you swing the gauge face out of the way, you don't have to support it one way or the next, but you want to be careful. Okay? So here's the bus bar that's in question. It's this brass-looking piece that goes in between the two studs. Okay? Now, we're very carefully going to remove the needle. Being very careful not to bend or distort this copper strip right here. I mean, obviously you can bend it back. It bends, but we want to leave everything in place. Now, we're going to go ahead and remove the studs that transfer the power or the current from the car's harness to the bus bar, which ultimately creates the magnetic field that swings the needle. And then you can very carefully lift the bus bar out. Now again, there's insulating washers or spacers. Everything has to be insulated extremely well. If you ever get power to ground, that's direct. That's not fused. That is direct battery power, because again, this gauge only reads battery charge state. So when the battery is fully charged or near fully charged, there is very little current actually floating through this bus bar. This bus bar does not measure current going through the entire electrical system, which a lot of people believe it does. That your entire car electrical system load is going through this. It is not. It is battery charge state. And so, like I said, there's other videos that show how this works and things like that. There's videos on the ammeter bypass. There's videos on the shunt wire install and shunt wire bypass. All kinds of different videos out there as to what to do with these amp gauges, because they're misunderstood. And so people are trying to create ways to solve a problem that really doesn't exist, in the sense that if you know what an amp gauge is and how it works and why it works, then you know what to look for and test on your car's electrical system. And so that's how you can test loads to and from to verify it. But basically, the power comes in through these studs, and it simply transfers by contact. You would need to have an extremely clean surface between the bus bar and the stud. Some people actually solder them to it. If you get resistance or corrosion here, you're going to develop resistance, which will then in turn create heat in the wire. Or if you have a bulkhead connector issue and corrosion, you're going to conduct heat. It's that heat that melts the wiring, that creates the dash fire issues. That's the reason people are bypassing the ammeter. They're just taking the two wires off, connecting them together. you haven't done anything because they're connected together through this bus bar. And so all you've done is eliminated your gauge, but you actually haven't solved any problems. A lot of people like to run volt gauges, and I don't understand why, because a volt gauge doesn't tell you anything. If you know how to read an amp gauge and why it's in the system, it's going to tell you so much more about your electrical system than a volt gauge ever will. So with that, that's a pretty simple gauge in its operation. There's not much to it. There's nothing in there that can catch fire. This is your typical Mopar amp gauge. Now, they might be in different configurations or look differently. You know, this is a first gen charger. You know, a second gen or a third gen clusters are a little different, but the gauge operation is absolutely 100% the same and the same principles. And so what we do is we need to clean these studs extremely well, clean the bus bar extremely well. And that's all there is to it. We need to check the connection from the metal ears here that create the magnetic field to the bus bar, and we clean those all up with our Dremel. So with that, the amp gauge is a very simple gauge to check and operate. There's not much you can mess up by playing with your amp gauge and cleaning it and cleaning connections. You're only going to help your situation. Now we have cleaned these pins, studs, extremely well. We are down to contact point is extremely shiny. There's no discoloration, no corrosion anywhere on here. The bus bar has been cleaned extremely well, and we can actually start reassembling. And of course, reassembly is just obviously opposite how you took it apart. Now these insulating spacers have little ears or tongues, so you want to make sure they lock into the gauge body. Then you put your insulating washers on, and your lock washers. Then you put your nuts on. Just hand tighten it so that it's secure for now. And we have now serviced our amp gauge. Now we're going to clean everything, all the copper terminals, or brass terminals, I should say, on the back. That's ground for the EL lighting. Okay, that's the ground for the EL lighting. And now we can set that gauge aside. The next step, if we're continuing on with this gauge, is the needle repair, or fixing that burned out needle. It doesn't want to focus, but you can see the chart area there. So with that, focus, cameras. But anyways, that's going to be the next step in our repair. Now, I'm going to set that aside and we'll get on with the speedometer. We'll do all the needles at the same time. So until then, please like, subscribe, and continue following along on our restoration process of this gauge cluster for a 1966 Dodge Charger.